If you could go back in time, what advice would you give young Spencer?
I would say travel more, take more time and just slow down and enjoy life more. Gosh, I can't believe how fast it's gone by. It seems like yesterday, but it was a long time ago. And I would just say slow down and enjoy life more. Very specific in what you want to do and then go do it. Just find a way to get it done.
Spencer Verhines is an Air Force veteran turned coffee entrepreneur. From guarding nuclear missile fields to founding American Classic Coffee, he's roasting quality and building legacy.
The next phase for this is to get a commercial facility. We're going to open up a coffee shop. I haven't decided if I want to sell the business or hand it over to my son. It seems like a big challenge. And if I'm not challenged in whatever I'm doing, then I get bored and I move on to something else. So maybe that's the route I'll go. I really don't know. But if I had to say...
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum back with another edition of the Milpreneur Podcast, sponsored by Cynergists. Cynergist is your scalable operations company that helps you grow exponentially faster at a fraction of the cost. Go check out Cynergist.com. Today, I have Spencer Verhines with American Classic Coffee. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be you, man. You're living life with your coffee, man. And it's been really cool to see your growth and everything like that. But, like one of the things that I love to see is like when we have vets that come on and talk about like that transition that they had, man, and what it took to get where they are now, man. Because like it's definitely a different lifestyle from the military to where you're at now, right?
Yes, very different.
So tell us a little bit about your background in the military and everything like that.
Well, I was security police in the Air Force. So it was before law enforcement and security merged to become security forces. I was stationed up in Cheyenne, Wyoming at F.E. Warren Air Force Base and would go to the missile field and guard the nukes out there, and did the same thing at Whiteman Air Force Base a few years after that. And then I got out and wanted to go to college. So started doing that and then started a business while I was in college and thought I'd continue down the law enforcement route. That's what I've always wanted to do. But when I started a business and felt the freedom of that, I was hooked. I mean, I was bitten by the entrepreneur bug when I was a little kid, probably 7, 8, 9. I don't remember. It was around that time my mom had taken me around the neighborhood to sell greeting cards out of a greeting card catalog that I ordered from, I think it was a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout magazine. And that was the first time I ever thought, wow, I can make money on my own. This is great. I want to do this. But I had originally joined the military to be a spy. I wanted to spy against the Soviets and the East Germans back before Cold War ended, and didn't get a chance to do that because of my eyesight at the time. But I became a cop after, anyway, that was my second choice. And I met a lot of good friends and even had a side hustle while I was doing that. I'd order pizzas and resell them. I did that in tech school, and I think I might have done that 1 or 2 times at the first duty station up at FE, but definitely tech school.
It's funny because like in high school, they were called Texas-sized donuts. I lived in Sacramento, and they were like, the size of your face, and I would buy like 3 of them and I'd bring them to my first math class, and then I'd sell them. I bought them for $1. I'd sell them for $3. And then, I'd do that every morning. So I'd make like $10, like during the week. I thought I was such a strong business model that I had going on there, man. I love it, dude. So now you have this coffee business. So tell us a little bit more about what you got going on there.
So American Classic Coffee started out just repackaging a roaster's coffee and selling it online. And the whole plan was to buy a roaster and then eventually open up coffee shops with roasters in them. But I was growing really slow because I had to pay for everything in cash. I started the business because I had lost my job and didn't want to go back to work for anyone else. I never enjoyed working for anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It was never fulfilling. And I always felt just held back and didn't like it at all. So didn't want to work for anyone else. So I started this business. Now, that was in 2019, we moved to Colorado in May of 23, bought a house. We closed February of 24. I'm sorry, we moved here in 22, closed in 23. And then as soon as we closed, I bought the roaster and went to town, started building out the garage to be a roaster. You can see part of it behind me, and started learning how to roast coffee. That was a whole big experience because I had to learn on my own. Pretty much, I had Had a couple of people kind of give me some advice, but as far as being here and doing it, it was all on me. And I've had to learn a lot of things by making mistakes,
Yeah.
costly mistakes. And for some reason, that seems to be the best way for me to learn and for it to stick.
Isn't it called, it's kind of called like the entrepreneur tax, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
like every time it feels like it's like, two or three steps forward and one step back. But, what I've seen is like you learn from those mistakes faster than like a lot of times people just, like, oh, I can YouTube this thing. Well, like these mistakes actually move you faster than, like watching a YouTube video over it. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I know. Yes, very well.
So like what are you most proud about this journey, man? Because like it's pretty cool to see your growth in the last few years.
Thank you. When I first started the business, first of all, I'm a visionary. I hate using that word. I'm a dreamer, I guess. I have big dreams and I want to hit it all at once. I sat my wife and son down in our 2-bedroom shoebox sized apartment in California. And after I'd started the business, said, this is what I want to do. I want to spend. I think it was probably, I had $20,000 or $30,000 spent in my head already. It's going to get a loan, can do all this stuff. My wife and son have a lot more wisdom than I do. They said, why don't we do this in phases? I thought, that's a good idea. But I used to just hit the ground running and not stop and make mistakes along the way and try to learn. But now it's taught me to slow way down, take a long time to make decisions. And once I think I'm ready to move forward in a decision or with a decision, take more time and ask questions, talk to people that may have done this or that, and try to find out what I don't know that I need to know. It has saved me a lot of headache and a lot of money and a lot of time, believe it or not, because I don't have to go back and correct anything. It seems like it's a snail's pace, but it would be a lot slower if I had to go back and redo a whole bunch of stuff. So I saved a lot of money by doing that. And I think that's what I'm most proud of, because it's that has helped me in my personal life. It's helped me in my marriage, my relationship with my son. It's helped me with everything. Slow down, ask a lot of questions. For God's sake, don't cut corners and take shortcuts, and do everything step by step, have it planned out. That's really helped me as an individual and a business owner.
So you're saying like being able to build like procedures, maybe that like standard operating procedures, maybe like you can repeat these steps every time you need to do something?
Yes, I have. Like whenever I was deciding how I wanted to pack my coffee so that it would be like a gift opening when someone received it. I can't tell you how many boxes I went through, what the kind of paper that I wanted to cover the coffee. I went through all kinds of things, did a lot of research on the opening experience. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I took pictures and wrote down everything I was doing and then decided the best course of action on how to package each bag of coffee. Is it going to be a single 12-ounce bag, a 2-pound and a 12-ounce, 2 pounds? I mean, I've got it all planned out and boxes for all of it. Roasting the coffee, everything has a procedure. And if it's violated, it messes things up. At least for me, it does.
I mean, and that's like quality assurance that it's going to be done the same way every time. And especially in the field that you're in, that's super important. So
Yeah.
do you feel like your industry has been changed in the last 5 years, especially like with COVID and stuff like that? Do you think that there has been a change in the way that people approach your business?
Yeah, I do. COVID really helped us out because everybody thought, well, you really had to order everything online. So that was the year after we started. So that helped us. But what I've seen in this industry is, as far as veteran-owned coffee businesses are concerned, they all want to play in the same pool as Black Rifle, right?
Yeah.
They all want to swim there. They're fishing in that same pool, and they're the big shark in a small pond. And they have that market wrapped up, and they're not losing market share. It's at least how I see it. They're not losing enough market share to really hurt them, right?
Yeah.
They're still the big guy on the block.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of companies, a lot of veterans, they'll name their companies after, they will chase that first responder, military, veteran crowd. and they don't take their time and ask questions and look at really who's there and the quality of what's being presented online. I was looking at another company the other day. They have fully printed bags, and I don't. I have labels that I put on there, but I'm going to go fully printed eventually. But these fully printed bags, they don't look the best anyway. Theirs didn't. And let's say they had just had the name XYZ type of coffee. They had their company name and then under it, the name of the coffee. Well, they came out with a new coffee, I guess, and they took an Avery label, printed out the name, stuck it over the original name. I thought, why are you doing that? You're hurting yourself. That's cheap.
Yeah.
It makes people think that you're cutting corners with your labels. What are you doing with the coffee? Right.
Right.
I've seen a lot of that. They want to, when veterans start businesses or have an idea, they want to skip a whole bunch of things. And I know I can see it really easily because I was there at one time, right? That's how I used to be. But I always encourage people to do a feasibility study if they have a business idea, and it doesn't have to be anything that's long and drawn out. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do. It really just costs your time. But that's going to tell you whether or not your idea is good.
Yeah.
If it's not, then you retool the idea. You just kind of move some things around, or you scrap it all together and you start with something else. But if it is a good idea, then you can move forward your business plan. And there's probably been one or two people I've talked to over the last few years that have mentioned a feasibility study. Everybody wants to write the business plan or skip that altogether and have ChatGPT write it and then go try to get funding somewhere in it. I just think that's setting themselves up for failure and a lot of headache and stress. That's how I see the industry's change, though, as far as better.
I love it, man. So like you talked about your wife and your son and like how they're intimately involved in what you're doing with American Classic Coffee. Like, how do you maintain that like work-life balance where like you get the quality time with your family, but at the same time, you keep driving that business forward?
That's a really good question. And it's something that it's constantly on my mind. My son is out in California. He's got a career. He handles all of our social media. He just started taking that over because that's what he does for a living. He just started doing that and I'm hands off with it. He'll ask me what I think about this or that. And that's about it because I told him you're in charge of all of it. So when I'm with him, of course, the business needs are met, but I'm with my son. Now, my wife, obviously, we live here in Colorado. I spend as much time as I can with her. She is involved in the business too. I'm the main person running it because she has a full-time job, but anytime I need something done or she needs to fill in for me, she does it. But what I've done and what I've really purposed to do was to carve out time for us together because it's so easy. When I get up at 4 a.m, I'm getting up and starting on emails. I'm researching product. I'm researching all kinds of stuff. And I don't go to bed till about 9 or 9:30. And I'm doing it all day and all night. And it's like I wake up and I go to bed. It flies that fast.
Yeah.
If I don't and carve it out, shut my phone off, shut the computer down and spend time with my wife, then we'll be roommates eventually. And that's just not going to happen. I'd rather lose everything I have than lose her. So it's when I put her first, then the company's needs just fall into place. The things I have to do, they get done. But if I don't do that, then I'm stressed and I can't get done what I need to get done for the business. It's funny how that works.
I love that mindset, man. Being able to put family first and then, everything else falls around it, man. Great disposition. And it's a great example of like what you're building for, because you're building a legacy to create, for yourself and your family. Well done.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So are you ready for a little bit of personal side of things, a little rapid fire questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. All right. So we'll just start off with, are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm an early bird, but if I could be, I'd be a night owl as well. But I have to choose. So I get up early. I was up at 2:30 this morning.
Wow. I definitely couldn't hang with that one, but I don't have the alarm clock because I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. It doesn't matter. Just jumping out of bed. I love that you got that already, that early bird, getting after it, man. Good stuff. Obviously, you're probably drinking some coffee, but coffee, tea, soda, energy drinks. What are you drinking? Water?
I try to drink a gallon of water a day. I'm almost there, but I drink a pot of coffee in the morning and then I don't drink anymore the rest of the day. But I drink water. God, like I said, almost a gallon a day. I'm trying to hit a gallon. I'm
Nice.
almost.
Your kidneys love you for it.
Yeah.
Love it, man. So, do you have a book that you're reading right now?
Yeah, I read fiction. I also read business books, but I use them more as a reference.
Yeah.
But I read a lot of fiction. I'm reading a book by C.J. Box right now. He's a great author. He's out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Writes about a Wyoming game warden. So that's what I'm reading right now.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have what's on like your workout playlist or your pump up songs?
Well, I listen to Five Finger Death Punch when I'm at the gym. There's some 80s rock, not hairband metal too, but rock that I'll listen to while at the gym. But usually it's Five Finger Death Punch at the gym. I won't listen to them outside of that because it gets me pretty hyped up. But outside of that, I listen to country, which I never thought I would do. My dad told me I would when I was younger. I said, no way. But he was right about that too.
That's awesome, man. Dude, nothing says former vet like Five Finger Death Punch at the gym, bro.
Yeah.
Love it, dude. Do you have a favorite podcast that you're listening to at all?
I listen to a lot of them. I don't really have a favorite. I cycle. The PBD podcast is pretty decent. Sean Ryan, of course, Joe Rogan. There's one or two more, but I catch them when I can. I'll have them going in the background, but I'll just let it play. So I might catch 2 or 3 or 4 podcasts throughout the workday and not even know who I'm listening to.
I dig it, bro. Very cool. And do you have a favorite cheat meal?
Well, for the sake of this being public, I'll say it is a cheat meal, but between you and I, it's more than a cheat meal and it's more often than a cheat meal. Don't tell my wife. I won't tell her that this is going to be online. No, I'm kidding. A pizza.
Love it, dude. Love it. Do you have a favorite go-to pizza joint?
You know, I did. I liked Papa John's forever, but I'm not a fan anymore. But here locally, there's a store, you're familiar with it, Maverick.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've got great pizza. I never thought I'd like a convenience store pizza, but boy, they have really good pizza.
There you go, man. Very cool. And lastly, do you have a bucket list travel spot that you need to travel to still?
Well, we are working on seeing everything Colorado has to offer. We've been here for almost 3 years now, and a little over 3 years, and we're trying to see everything Colorado has to offer. But if you want to talk a bucket list item, I would say go to Europe and see all the major battle sites for World War II. My grandfather fought in Europe, and I'd love to go over there and see all those sites. I love history, and especially military history, and to be able to do that would just be incredible. It'd be a dream come true for me.
That's awesome, man. Well, you made it through our rapid fire questioning, man. Great job.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit here. So like if you could go back in time and talk to, that young Spencer that was in the military and, little a little less emotionally immature, probably, being in the military, ready, shoot, aim, type of mentality there. What advice would you give young Spencer?
I would say travel more. I tried to, I on my dream sheet, I put all overseas bases. I got I had orders to Guam and tech school and they got a red line. I got sent to Wyoming, which turned out to be a good thing, but travel more, take more time and just slow down and enjoy life more. Because gosh, I can't believe how fast it's gone by. I got out of the military in 95 and I just can't, it seems like yesterday, but it wasn't yesterday. It was a long time ago. And I would just say, slow down and enjoy life more, but be very, very specific in what you want to do and then go do it. Just find a way to get it done.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Now, conversely, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with what you're building?
Well, the next phase for this is to get a commercial facility. And then from there, we're going to open up a coffee shop with a roaster in it. And if that is successful, then we'll start multiplying that up and down the Front Range from here to Jackson Hole and in all the ski resort towns here in Colorado. And then I haven't decided if I want to sell the business eventually or hand it over to my son, or I've given some thought to going public. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited I am for something like that to happen, I'd say it's like a 4 because I don't know anything about that kind of thing. I really like my privacy. And when you, I guess when you go do something like that, you just don't, you're living in a glass house, and I don't like that. So I don't know that that would happen, but it's a big challenge. It seems like a big challenge. And if I'm not challenged in whatever I'm doing, whether it's roasting coffee or running a business, then I get bored and I move on to something else. So maybe that's the route I'll go. I really don't know. But if I had to say, I'd probably sell.
Okay. Awesome, man. Well, I'm looking forward to continuing to see your growth and where you go from here, man. And nothing but the best with all of your future endeavors.
Thank,
Really enjoy watching you grow.
thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Absolutely, man. So if people are interested in getting a hold of you or buying some of the coffee, how can they get a hold of you?
AmericanClassicCoffee.com is the website, and they can go on there and order whatever coffee they want. It's all good, smooth specialty coffee. It's not going to be bitter. You won't need cream or milk to cut the bitterness. So if that's a thing, you don't need it. You don't want it. But yeah, AmericanClassicCoffee.com is the best way to go about doing that.
Fantastic. I've bought them for Christmas gifts for people, so it's top notch stuff already. So I highly recommend you go check them out, guys. Spence, always a pleasure getting a chance to chat with you and catching up with you, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate that. I really do.
Absolutely. Well, once again, I'm Ryan Van Ornum with the Milpreneur Podcast, sponsored by Cynergists. Cynergists is that scalable operations company at a fraction of the cost. Go check it out, Cynergist.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Milpreneur Podcast today. And until the next one, have a blessed day.